Okay. I wasn't gonna make a video, but this is videos in response to a guy who had accused me of stealing his parts or whatever. And everybody jumped on his bandwagon like, oh yeah, I know he was such a bad guy. He a thief and he's no good and all this other stuff, blah blah blah. Well, I'm gonna explain what happened in detail because the conversation was just in between me and him. And what happened now is a lot of people still believe that I have his stuff. So originally what happened was he had contacted me about building a custom big block and a custom billet animal and stuff like that. And I told him where to get the parts from. You want to get this block here, you want to get this billet head and these carburetors from Dustin and blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? So I don't really like for the guys to send me no money. I prefer to just tell them what to get and they get it and send it to me. So that's pretty much what the guy did. But certain things had to be custom, like the pistons. I had to find a piston company out here that can actually make the pistons for them, So we wanted to go with a 101 millimeter bore, So this is a really, really large piston, and the engine was going to be 600 cc, right? So anyway, everything was in the works, and then COVID-19 hit. What happened was he had me making custom intake manifolds and custom exhaust manifolds for these engines, and they had to be CNC machined, right? Which I don't own a CNC machine, and so I had to find somebody who can do it, right? Which I ended up finding a guy that can do it, but it was going to take so long with the programs and how busy he was and all this other stuff, and it was going to cost a lot of money. But the guy assured me money wasn't a problem, and he don't care, and he want it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, the guy says he wants it. So I took him, the machinist guy, 2 blocks, 2 heads, and the carburetors, right? This is all billet parts, If y'all know me, I deal with a lot of billet parts. So the guy took a long time, but it wasn't just that. It was that COVID-19 hit. And when COVID-19 hit, a lot of businesses out here in California closed up, and like you couldn't open them because they would then fine you and maybe even take you to jail. It was big out here. They even had like going up and down the streets, National Guard, and we had a curfew of, I think it was 8 o'clock. Yeah. A curfew of 8 o'clock. We had to be in the house. You couldn't be out just doing anything. You had to either be going to work or coming from work or going to the store or coming from the store. That was pretty much all you was allowed to do, So at this time, this guy, he wanted his stuff back, right? So I told him, well, I got half the stuff in the garage right here. You see, I got boxes and stuff. I got a lot of stuff in here, right? So half his stuff was here and the other half was at this CNC machine shop, right? He like, I want it now or whatever, right? Look, I had to explain to him about COVID-19 and how things are out here and blah, blah, blah. I can't just tell this man to let me get it and all this other stuff or whatever, right? He can be fined or whatever. He don't want to hear that. So he put on Facebook, I stole his stuff, right? So now a lot of people believe it. As long as they've been knowing me, as long as I've been in the game, they actually believe I stole this man's stuff. I'm like, really? Y'all actually know me, and y'all should know I ain't got to steal this man's stuff, Damn. And anyway, the guy had everybody believing it, right? And what really upset me was Joe hit me up right out of nowhere, and he asked me, "Hey Charles, man, I have a whole bunch of shirts from somebody, whoever who's supposed to be sponsoring him, sent him a whole bunch of t-shirts or something like that, and he have a bunch of my size and he want to send them to me, right?" So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I could probably use these shirts for work or whatever, right? Okay, so I gave Joe my address, right? Well, it was all pretty much a setup because Joe didn't even never did send me the shirts. What I later found out was that he got my address to give to this guy, but he didn't realize that the guy already had my address because he shipped me the parts, right? So it was never a thing of I was trying to hide from the guy and or not give him my address, you know. But I later found out that Joe gave this man my address, believing that I actually stole this man's stuff, which was extremely crazy to me because Joe doesn't even know this guy, right? Now, in this case, Joe knows me. We done did multiple podcasts together. Everybody done seen this. We done barbecued together. I know his wife. I know his daughter. You know, all kinds of stuff or whatever, right? And I'm like, this is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? That this man will try to trick me for my address to give to this guy that he doesn't even know, right? To say, okay, well, man, he must be really stealing this man's stuff. You in California, Joe. You know how it is out here when they're shutting these businesses down. There's nothing we can do, you know? So I pretty much ignored the guy until the guy finally said he was going to open the shop and let me get the stuff out of there, right? So the guy finally opened up the shop. Well, he didn't actually open it. He just let me get the stuff out, right? He still wasn't allowed to open it up. So I went and got the stuff. I packed all this stuff. I took pictures of it. And I got the weight of it. It was in 2 big buckets or crates. And I shipped it out, right? It cost me almost $300 or something like that. It was almost like $150 a crate or something like that. And I paid this out of pocket, right? So even though the guy got the parts and never did even tell anybody else, hey, yeah, he shipped my stuff and I got my stuff now. He didn't even tell nobody, right? Because people still go along thinking I done stole this man's stuff. Then he sells the parts to another guy in another state, right? He gives the guy my contact info. He gives the guy my contact info, right? And the guy is calling me, talking about he wanted me to finish the project for him, right? Because he now has the parts from the guy, right? I'm saying, no, I'm not doing none of that no more, you know? Come on, man, I need you to do it. You know, he was told me that you're the only guy that can do it or whatever. I might be the only guy that can do it, but I'm not going to do it because it's too much of a hassle. And then you want me to do it in a certain time frame and everything else. I don't know what may happen. COVID-19 might flare back up again and the shops may reclose like they did at one time. And here we go, we're back in the same situation. And in the end, I don't need the money, right? I'm already working. I've been working forever. You know, I had to actually take time off work to come and try to do a little bit of work on these small engines. So I said it's best to get rid of all this stuff and I don't have to worry about, oh man, how long is it going to take me being hassled by some dude and this dude is paying me $100 or something like that. And I can make double that in one day, you know? So it's no use to even fooling with it. You know, I only did this as a hobby and then it grew and I became pretty much the best at it, right? And people don't like to say, oh yeah, you saying you the best. Well, I've proven it. I won the competitions, you know? So when I do this and I build all this crazy custom stuff, you say you want this custom stuff, it's not getting done fast enough for you or whatever. Now you're mad and you want to, you know, shame my name or whatever, right? So I'm here to let you know, right? The guy Ben had his stuff back last year sometime, I don't even know. But I never was even going to make this video. But they kept telling me, man, just make a video and let people know. The man Ben got his stuff back. He then resold the stuff to another guy that wants to get it finished by me, but I'm not dealing with neither one of them. And Joe, like I said, he called himself helping these dudes by getting my address and giving it to him, which he already had my address, which I couldn't believe Joe would do this. You know, this is crazy. So I'm like, well, I can't really deal with Joe anymore. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was a so-called friend, you know, where we met. Like I said, we met. We barbecued together. I know his wife, his daughter, everything. You know, I even did judging for his shows, and I help him out all the time. You know, like even the podcast, he never paid me for those podcasts. He just say, hey man, I was seeing if you want to do a podcast, help me out, blah blah blah, and I do it. You know, he want me to bring something to the podcast to show off or whatever. I do it. You know, and so then he turns around and call himself helping these guys out. He don't even know. You know, like yo, yeah, he's stealing your stuff. Here's his address. You know, I'm like, that's crazy. You know, so either way, I'm done with it all. You know, I still have my stuff, and I'm only messing with my stuff from here on out. So I don't have to worry about, oh, it's taking too long or whatever. I'm good, man. I don't need to be doing no more heads for nobody else, no custom blocks, no nothing, you know. So either way, that's it. That's all I wanted to let y'all know.